I was in the hospital when my wife texted her lover, "He won't make it. We'll be free soon." So I let her believe I was dying. I don't even know how to start this without sounding like it's ripped straight from a movie script, but I swear on everything I've got, this happened. Every damn word. Last year, I ended up in the hospital after a sudden infection turned septic. I went from feeling a little off in the morning to being rushed to the ER by noon. I don't remember much of that first day, just a blur of lights, pain, and voices shouting, but I do remember waking up later, hooked to IVs, catheter in, beeping machines all around. I could barely move. The doctors told me I was lucky to be alive. I wasn't allowed to eat solid food. Breathing was painful. Talking felt like sandpaper in my throat. My body had been through war. But the real pain, the real damage, that came from my phone. It was day 3 in the hospital. I was alone in my room. My wife, Rachel, had visited briefly on day 1, kissed my forehead, told me she loved me. She hadn't been back since. I figured she was overwhelmed or scared. It made sense. Until I picked up my phone. I hadn't checked it much because even lifting my arm hurt. But I finally reached for it while the nurse was out. Just to see if she'd messaged. And oh, she had. The message was at the top of the thread between her and someone named B. Just an initial. I tapped it open, half-dazed. And there it was. "He won't make it. We'll be free soon." I stared at it, heart pounding, not from illness this time, but from a kind of betrayal that makes your blood go cold. Then, another message from B popped up, right there in front of me. "Are you sure? What if he recovers? Rachel, he's too weak. The doctor said the infection was advanced. I don't think he's got long. I'll play the grieving widow. Just a little longer." I read it in silence. The 4 in my arm might as well have been liquid fire. My body was already fighting to live, and now my soul wanted to give up entirely. We'd been married 7 years. 7 peaceful, I thought, faithful years. We met in college, built a life together. She was my person. Or so I believed. But clearly, Rachel had been planning a life beyond me for a while. And now this. Waiting for me to die like I was a dog she couldn't stand to bury herself? That night, I didn't sleep. I couldn't. My mind was spiraling. I replayed every late night at work, every girl's trip, every time she seemed distant, and I chalked it up to stress. I felt like the world had been a lie. Our world. My life. But something else happened too. A part of me, some stubborn, rage-fueled core, decided, no, I'm not dying. Not like this. I told the nurses I needed to fight. I begged for rehab. I asked questions, pushed through the pain, took every antibiotic like it was gold. I drank that disgusting protein sludge they gave me even when I vomited it back up. I made small gains. I got stronger. I stopped replying to Rachel. She'd text simple stuff. "How are you feeling? They said you might need surgery. Let me know if you want me to bring anything." But no mention of B. No sign of guilt. She was playing her role, just like she said she would. So I played mine. I told the doctors to keep my condition critical if anyone asked. I asked them not to allow visitors outside of immediate family, which I made sure meant only my sister and mother. Rachel. She wasn't on the approved list anymore. She tried to come see me once. The nurse turned her away. I heard about it later and asked them to double down. Meanwhile, I started planning. 2 weeks later, I was discharged. Not well, but alive. Strong enough to walk with help. Strong enough to think again. But I didn't go home. I checked into a hotel. Then a short-term rental. I told Rachel, via text, that I needed time, that I wasn't ready to come home, that the doctors advised rest away from stress. She replied with this sugary message like, "Of course. Take all the time you need. I'm just so relieved you're alive. I love you." I could feel the lie through the screen. So I went dark. And while she thought I was recovering in peace, I was meeting with a lawyer. Changing every will, every account password, every emergency contact. I removed her name from everything. Insurance, bank accounts, titles. I even made sure the house, which I had bought before marriage, was officially retitled under my name only. I changed the locks while she was at work, installed cameras, set up alerts, transferred everything important into a trust. The new will, it had her name erased like she'd never existed. 3 weeks after I disappeared, she texted, "I'm worried. Are you okay? Please let me help." I responded, "Come by the house. We should talk." She showed up at 5:30 p.m. I watched her on the security feed as she tried her old key. Didn't work. She knocked. I opened the door slowly, still wearing my hospital bracelet, looking pale on purpose. Her face went white. I said nothing. She stepped inside, nervously. You look good," she stammered. I just stared. She finally broke the silence. I was scared. "You didn't reply. I thought maybe." She trailed off, and I said, "You mean you thought I died? So you and your boyfriend could start celebrating?" Her face froze. "I read the texts, Rachel." She stuttered. "It wasn't what it looked like. I was scared too. I didn't mean." I cut her off. "You said you'd be free soon. I'm just making sure that's still true." Then I handed her a folder. Inside was a printed copy of the revised will, the trust info, and the removal orders from every shared account. "You're free, Rachel. No marriage. No money. No house. No lies left to tell." She started crying. Like ugly crying. Said she made a mistake, begged me to forgive her, that it was just a fantasy, that she never planned to actually leave me. I said, "You didn't have to. I'm doing the leaving." Then I handed her one last envelope. Inside, screenshots of her texts to B, and a note that simply said, "Sent to HR at your job," and his. Turns out B was her coworker, a married one, with kids. She left the house shaking. I haven't seen her since. So yeah, while I was fighting to survive, she was planning a new life without me. But I didn't die. I came back, and made damn sure she couldn't take anything from me again. I'm not telling you this for revenge points. I'm telling you because sometimes, surviving isn't just about staying alive. It's about choosing to live on your own terms. And me, I chose to live. Quietly. Stronger. Smarter. Free. Sometimes the best revenge is coming back stronger than ever. Subscribe for more stories like this.